Hey everyone, hope you're well. Welcome to The Loft, and today we're going to be going over my portfolio, see what's happened over the last week. If you're new, this is a video we do every single week where we basically look at my portfolio, see what's changed, what I've bought, what I've sold and what dividends that I've got, and just a few facts just to see the general health of my portfolio. So if you're interested, do remember to like and subscribe so that you can come on this journey with us all. And let's jump in and have a look at the portfolio. So if we look at the portfolio itself, we can see that last week we had a portfolio value of £2,973, which was a return of £362, which works out at around 13.89% as a percentage. So if we move on, we can see that the portfolio has actually moved down to 2,970, though the portfolio return has actually increased to 14.45%, which is in monetary value around £374. The reason for this overall drop is because I've actually made some of the sales that I mentioned in a video a few weeks ago, and I haven't yet reinvested that cash into other stocks, so it's dropped the actual value of the portfolio for a bit. On that subject, let's jump over and have a look at the buys and sells that we did over the last week, and this starts off on the 9th, where I picked up 0.1 of a share of Apple for £9.01, and then this was followed by a bunch of sales, starting off with Home Depot, who I sold 0.01 of a share for a total of £2.19, which netted me a total 20p profit. Then we move on to Intel, who I sold for a total of £4.05 with a return of 42p. We then also had McDonald's, where I sold 0.01 of a share for a total of £1.65, and overall this returned me a profit of 15p on the investment. Then Medtronic, I sold out of my full position of 0.02 of a share for a total value of £1.74, which gave me a profit of around 21p. We also have got Microsoft, who I sold out of, and I sold out of Microsoft for a total value of £1.80, which was my full position of 0.01 of a share. And I held that, and that gave me a total of 14p in return. And that was rounding off the 9th. We have Yum Brands, who I sold for a total of £4.18 for the 0.05 of a share that I held, and overall this netted me a return of around 63p. The only other transaction for the week took place on the 11th, and that's where I essentially sold all of my 0.1 and a bit rounding massive amounts of extending numbers of Disney, and that got me a total of £13.61 back, making a return of £3.28. Overall, these sales have added around £30 of free funds for me to use across my portfolio to invest into other companies. And just in case you're new, this isn't that I've sold out other companies because that I don't think they're good companies. It's more of the fact that I wanted to try and consolidate my portfolio a little bit and reduce the number of holdings that I had. And these were the ones that I had very minute positions in that I could sell out at a profit and try and make some money that could be used for other assets. So let's jump over and look at the dividends that have been paid. And rolling with the dividends, we can see that the first payments came in on the 3rd, with the first payment being from Intel for a total payment of 2 pennies. Then we had Wells Fargo, who came in with a total dividend payment of 6p, and that was for the full 1 share that I hold. And then finishing off that day, we had Walmart with a 2p payment for the 0.05 of a share that I held. We then had 4 payments that came in on the 11th, starting with Chevron paying an 80p payment for the 1 share that I hold, which was then followed by their competitor ExxonMobil, sending over 52p for the 1 full share that I hold. Then we have a 4p payment from Amgen for holding 0.04 of a share at the time of ex-dividend date. And rounding off that day, we have a payment from Johnson & Johnson for a total of 19p for holding 0.3 of a share. This brings last week's dividends to a total of £3.61, which is a lot better than last week's dividends, the week before I mean. And overall, I'm slightly happier with it, though I do wish it was slightly higher. If we look across to what company is my main gainers and my main losses, we can see that the amount of cash that I've lost from my companies in the most amount is actually from AT&T, who are down a total of 7%, losing me around £6.71. However, if we flip that over and look at what company is making me the most amount of money, we can see that the best cash generating asset in the form of growth is actually Main Street Capital, who have made a return of 25%, which is equivalent to around £30 in actual cash. So I will be looking at AT&T because the price has dropped so much, and obviously the recent news. And if you are interested in my point of view on AT&T and what's happened over the last few weeks or so, do let me know. Subscribe, like, and comment down below so I can look to do that. Now, let's take a few moments and just have a look at the main movers in my portfolio over the last week, see who's had the biggest upward trend and the biggest downward trend. And looking at the downward moving stocks, we can see that we've had a total of 25 in the portfolio that have moved downwards, with the main loser being Cineworld, with a total drop of around 6.5%. However, if we look over, flip the coin and look at the best performing stocks, we can see that obviously the remaining portfolio is actually going up, with the most increase coming from 5% in the form of Stag Industrial, followed relatively closely by Cardinal Health. As always, I try to include information that I think you guys would be interested in or find useful. And if there's any particular metric or information you want me to include about my portfolio, either on my weekly or monthly updates, do let me know down in the comments below and I can look to include them if it's feasible. If you want to check out another video that I've done about my portfolio and see how it's developed over time, I would suggest checking out this video or playlist here. And until next time, remember to invest, save, and subscribe.